Beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make sense. Hi everyone. Melissa is such a lovely person. I'm so happy that she agreed to talk to me. Melissa's mother sadly died last year, and she is really stuck in her grieving process. Due to her emotional discomfort, I was about to cancel our appointment on the morning of the recording, but I remembered the positive feedback I get from people after our chat, and decided that it might actually do a good to talk to me, so I pushed through. You will hear us being half hysterical at the beginning of the session, because we were chatting away merrily for about 10 minutes, when I realized that I was not recording. I think there is a lot for us to learn from this chat. I hope you get out of it what I did. This podcast is supported by The First Layer, the 12-step workbook on working through the 12 steps in any addiction in 21 sessions. There is also a 24-day step coaching and counseling program available, based on The First Layer. For more information in this regard, go to www.freddie.org.za and click through from the notices at the right of the homepage. Enjoy Melissa's story. God, no.
It's
I am
okay.
so sorry. I am
Relax.
so sorry.
We can redo it. It's okay. Can you imagine if we had picked it up an hour later?
That's why I should be wearing my glasses. Right, now I can watch it. Cool. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Right. Let's start again.
Cool.
Melissa and I are starting again. We just realized that I never started the recording.
It's okay, Freddie.
So we're not going to do the whole bloody greeting thing. We've already said hi. Hi, listeners.
Hello.
This is my friend Melissa. We met how long ago? About not long
I
ago.
think it could be about 3 years ago. A mutual contact of ours told me, I'm going to connect you with this guy. He's really awesome. He's an addictions counselor. I think you need to see him.
Yeah.
And that's how we met. And you are one of those people that I just felt instantly comfortable with.
Oh, thank you.
You just have that quality about you. Because I am spilling my guts to somebody that I met 5 seconds ago.
I still had my office then.
Yes, you
did.
did.
Before I started from home. So you opened the door now. So what connected us was addiction.
Yes.
Okay. Were you fresh in recovery then?
I had just started my journey. I think I should probably give you a bit of a background. Yeah. I didn't know up until I was 34 years old that I am an addict. And that sounds so weird. Because most people know in their early teens or 20s they're an addict. No, I waited until the ripe old age of 34.
I didn't know until I was 22 that I was homosexual.
Well, there you go.
So you're completely excused.
Yeah. And it actually also just happened by chance. It must have been kismet or something. I was admitted to a clinic for depression. I was really battling at that time. I just felt like I was in this big black hole. I did not know how to get out of it. And then one day we were told that somebody's going to come and have a talk. They're going to talk to us about alcoholism and drug addiction, etc. And I didn't actually want to go, but then I thought, go, it's going to kill some time.
Yeah.
And I sat there listening, and something struck a chord with me. I could relate to what was being said about why people abuse drugs and alcohol. But I indulge in a glass of wine, but booze has never been a problem for me. I've never even smoked weed, I know, how boring is that,
pathetic.
Man? Right?
You live in the Cape of Good Dope and you don't.
I know. I get ripped off for that such a lot. But I've never even smoked weed. But I realized that is what food does for me. And again, I must just give you a bit of background. I've always been overweight all my life. And I always thought, I'm eating too much. And I had so many excuses for it. I enjoy good food. What if I decide to eat right now and tomorrow a bus is going to knock me over, because it's always going to be a bus. It's going to knock me over. Then what was all that healthy living for?
Yeah.
And so it was always just, I thought it's about the food. And then that day, something stuck with me and I realized, whoa, the way people say alcohol and drugs make them feel, that's how food makes me feel.
So the conversation, the sharer was a drug addict and an alcoholic. So
That's
he didn't
correct.
talk about
Food. No,
but
not at
suddenly
all.
the light went on for you.
Yes.
That, oh my word, okay.
Yes.
So you were definitely there for a reason. You had to be.
I'm telling you, in hindsight, I realized that was one of my first higher power moments. I then spoke to my psychiatrist and I told her, listen, I don't know what to make of this. But the way these people say drugs and alcohol make them feel, that is the way food makes me feel.
Yeah.
And she told me, wait, I'm going to look at something. And she told me, I think you need to look at Overeaters Anonymous.
Ah.
You could have knocked me over with a feather because I'd never heard of Overeaters Anonymous. I did not know what it was. I did not know what it stood for.
When I went into rehab, I didn't know about Narcotics Anonymous. And it's so weird because as parts of fellowships, we really try to get the word out there. Still, it just proves how many people there are to reach where we're just not getting to.
Yeah.
So, how did you feel? Were you relieved that there's a name to it, or were you kind of, oh my God, what's happening here?
I was relieved because all of a sudden I understood that I react to food differently to other people.
Okay. So a lot of your behavior things made sense to you. Okay.
Because in hindsight, I think I always knew I had an unhealthy relationship with food.
Okay.
When other people would be full, I could never reach a satiety level.
Okay.
And I always thought, you know what, they are losers. Listen, let me show them how to do it. Because I could do it. And that thinking, I always knew there was something wrong with it. But I thought, okay, if I get the weight under control, my problems will be solved. Yeah. I then looked into OA and I had to answer a few questions. And I said yes to every one of them and I realized, oh my goodness, this is where I need to be.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That was in October 2013.
Okay.
That was a turning point for me in my life, a huge one. Because at that stage, I'd indulged in other behaviors as well. I belonged to SLA as well. I acted out multiple partners, one-night stands. That time I called it, they're my fuck buddies.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm so cool, I'm using them, I'm getting off, blah, blah, blah. And it was good for a while. Until it wasn't good anymore.
Until it stops being good, yeah.
Until it wasn't good
and
anymore.
It's a strange line that one just suddenly crosses.
Yes.
Where
And, I felt so powerful that time. I felt incredibly powerful. I thought, I'm owning my sexuality. I'm making the rules. It'll be on my terms. And then just one day it stopped being fun. And I kept on chasing that high, but I never got it.
So when did this penny drop for you?
I'm laughing because that only dropped for me in November 2016.
Okay.
I did not know that I had SLA issues either. I did not know.
So how did this come? how did this happen?
So what happened was after I went to the clinic, and I was discharged, I started working my OA program.
Yep.
And that program...
Like a good little overeater should do.
Yes.
So well done.
The program is amazing. It has taught me so much about me, about the person I really am, about the life I want to live, about how I think about myself, the way I think about others. It taught me about my connection with my higher power, and all of a sudden I realized the connection I had with my higher power, it wasn't a true connection. It was one of dictator and almost want to say submissive or something like that. And since coming into program, I realized that my higher power is loving and caring. My higher power is actually not going to punish me if I don't go to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
My higher power doesn't work on a point system where you have to do X amount of good things in order not to be punished.
Yeah.
My higher power is actually very understanding.
So up until that stage, we discussed this earlier while we were not recording in detail, that you grew up Catholic.
I did.
In the Western Cape with a father and a mother, but father was at sea a lot.
That's correct.
So mother kind of ruled the house with
Yes.
a steel fist, I think
Yes.
is a saying. And the two daughters attended Catholic church. You were
Yeah.
confirmed and went to mass and all those type of things.
Yes,
Cool.
every single
So,
thing.
so at that stage, you had God as your concept of a higher power.
Absolutely.
Okay. And we also discussed, we were just at the point that we discussed, but because we said at the age of about 26 that religious connection broke for you.
Yeah.
So let's take it from there. What do you think caused that?
I had dated the same man for 9 years.
The pastor's son.
Yes, I dated a pastor's son.
Melissa was about to become a dominee's wife.
Yeah, mevrou Dominee. Can you imagine that?
Freaked her the hell out.
And I then ended things, and it was like I was set free. I was released from prison. And I realized that I had done both him and me a disservice. I didn't show him who I truly am, because I tried to fit into this little mold that he had for me. I also wanted to be what he wanted me to be, but I couldn't, and that's
Thank
just...
God you realized that.
I know. And that's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And then the partying started every weekend. And then I started going on to dating apps, had random hookups, getting that feeling of being powerful.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, it gave me this amazing high. And what had also happened at that stage, I actually forgot. I'd lost a huge amount of weight, like 30 kilos.
Oh my word, how did that happen?
I then started going to a dietitian, eating right and all of that. But when I look back at it now, I still binged then, and then binge, and then, okay, now we're good for a couple of days, and then, okay, I can reward myself, let's binge again.
Oh, okay.
That was the pattern of my life.
So it was really a binge purge
Yes.
type of pattern that you had.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the time, I honestly thought I was rewarding myself.
Yeah.
But now I know better. That was just me falling back into old ways.
And you were in
of
addiction
thinking.
anyway in terms of your SLA. So,
Absolutely. So the
it's-
two just fed into one another.
But it's amazing how sex and food are connected. And so many people in any of these fellowships will say, when my sex is good, my food is stuffed. When my food is good, my sex is stuffed.
Yeah.
Very, very connected.
I know. I only realized the connection November 2016.
So were you always depressed? Were you always aware of the fact that you feel low, that you feel depressed?
Again, no. When I think back now, I've always been an overeater, even as a child. I was an obese kid, obese teen. I'm an obese adult. That is, how I identified myself.
Yeah.
And it was always, a weight issue. Once I lose the weight, my problems will be solved. And then I got to a point when I was 34 years old. I realized something is not well here. My thoughts were dark. I started isolating myself from friends, limited contact with family. And it was easy because at that stage I'd been living on my own.
Okay.
So it was easy for me to, get takeaways, lots of it, finish it. There was nobody here to judge me. I always laughed in meetings because people say, I had to close the curtains and whatever. I don't need to close the curtains. I live alone. I can do it. I can do it, in the bright light.
Yeah.
But there was nothing bright about it.
Okay.
And until one day I realized I'm killing myself slowly. I'm committing suicide, but very slowly.
Yeah.
I then...
Finding a really difficult way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Just shoot me, for God's sake.
Yes.
Get it over and done with.
Yeah. And I then spoke to my boss at the time because it was affecting my work as well because I couldn't function. And he told me, you know what, I'm going to arrange a session for you. with one of our HR people, and this person referred me to a psychologist. And that was the first time when this psychologist told me, you are severely depressed. And I thought, what? Because I don't feel, because my idea of people that suffer from depression is they're lethargic and they always want to sleep and they speak slowly. I don't know why they speak slowly, but in my mind they speak slowly.
And they cry a lot.
And yes, and they have suicidal thoughts and blah, blah, blah. I didn't have suicidal thoughts. I don't speak slowly. But I was in this dark place. And now I can tell you, my depression manifested itself in me being aggressive and angry all the time.
So you were acting out on it anyway.
Yes, I lashed out
Just
at
came out,
people.
it came out in different ways.
Yes, friends, family, poor shop assistants.
Ooh.
I have so many amends to make to shop assistants. Really, just lashing out over the littlest thing. And then I know I'm overreacting, but I don't understand why.
Okay.
Until I then went to a clinic for intensive therapy. And that was the start of the journey for me.
Okay.
And it was in that period that I also discovered I'm a compulsive overeater.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now you enter OA.
Yes.
Did you go to your first meeting while in the facility or afterwards?
Afterwards.
Okay. And how did that feel?
I was still on leave, and then I looked it up and went to the meeting at Kenilworth.
Okay.
And
that's a Thursday. When is that one?
It's on a Thursday at 7:30.
Okay, cool.
And I went there expecting a lot of overweight people. And I came there and in walk a lot of skinny people. And I was convinced that I must be at the wrong meeting because overeaters are overweight and obese like me. But I stayed. And once the meeting started, I realized I'm at the right place.
Okay.
Because overeating doesn't only manifest itself in weight like it does with me. Anybody can be a compulsive overeater. And I cried in that meeting because
lovely.
I knew I was at the right place.
Okay.
And I went to 1 or 2 more meetings. I even got a sponsor a couple of months later. And then I stayed away for 9 months.
Are you serious?
Yes, I did. Because then my mind told me, no, you're not an addict. That's nonsense. An addict is a homeless person. They sleep on the street. They're a drunkard. They're a drug addict. Yours is just a weight problem. Get the weight under control. And I just stayed away.
So you were back to square one?
Yes, and I just stayed away for 9 months. Because I could not accept I'm a drug addict. Because I told myself, listen, girl, you've got your life together, man. You've got a job. You've got a home.
So now you're also on antidepressants.
Yes.
So you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so the bottom of the rock bottom has been lifted up.
Yes,
So
that's right.
Oh my word. Okay.
And so I'm feeling better. So I'm not an addict.
Yeah.
You know, I'm clean every day. I'm not begging for money. I take care of myself.
Yeah.
I'm wonderful. And it went on like that for 9 months. And it took 9 months for me to realize, no. This is not normal. You do not react to food the way other people do.
So the seed was planted.
Absolutely. Those few meetings, I don't even know if it was 5 or 6 meetings that I went to, but something stayed.
Okay. Have you started working the program by then?
I tried and then I stopped.
Okay.
I'd probably only worked maybe up until step 3. I'm speaking under correction.
Okay.
And then I just stayed away. And in January 2015, I think, I realized I can't do this. And I contacted my sponsor and I told her, I'm dying here. I need help. And she told me, you know what, I was waiting for your call.
Oh, sweet.
And that's when I started working the program again. My sponsor then relocated and she connected me. Yeah, she did.
How could she abandon you like
I
that?
know. I remember crying in Cardi's the day I was buying a, Bon Voyage card. I remember crying and I told my best friend, I can't believe she's leaving.
A true addict would have said, I can't believe she's doing this to me.
Yeah. And then my then sponsor connected me with a new sponsor.
Okay.
And I then started working the program. I think I've done one complete round of the steps. And then I started it again, but I haven't finished that yet. And in the meantime, also discovered I'm a sex and love addict.
Yeah.
And that also happened in the most peculiar way. I went on a date. And I thought the date went well. And then the person just stopped contacting me. And immediately I thought, well, it must be me. And the feelings that came up for me, it's that same feeling when I know I want to binge.
Okay.
But all of a sudden, I know that I don't want to binge, but I want to act out sexually.
Okay.
And I thought, whoa. This is, I know this feeling. Not quite, but I know what happens when I'm here. And I then contacted somebody in the fellowship who I also just by chance found out goes to SLA. And she told me, go and do the 40 questions on the SLA website. I said yes to about 35 of those 40 questions.
So by this time you knew the pattern.
Yeah. Yeah. And then in, I think it was November or December that year, I then went to my first SLA meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's amazing. But again, that was the first time I was angry at my higher power.
Okay, so let's stop there and go and follow the journey to your higher power, because you grew up Catholic, so there was God.
Yes.
So coming into the 12 steps, technically speaking, that should have been easy. The higher power was a sitting duck waiting for you to come back.
Yeah.
And is that what you do?
No.
You just don't take the easy way out, do you?
No, I don't.
I don't make this easy for me.
Absolutely not. Because I thought, I get the God concept. I went to church. This is easy. I know about handing over and believing in a higher power greater than yourself. No. I was brought down to earth with a bang. It was so difficult, and it is still difficult for me to just hand over, because there's still that part of me that wants to control, that wants to do, that thinks that I know better.
So you didn't go on your knees and say to God, I'm back?
No, not at all. Because still in my little head I thought, I get you, we friends, don't worry, I know you've got this. Until one of my sponsors asked me, have you ever been angry at your God? And I said, no, what nonsense are you talking? You can't be angry with God.
Yeah.
And
because he's going to punish you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then came the day when I realized I now have two addictions. I'm a compulsive overeater and I'm a sex and love addict. And that's the day I became angry. And I said, really, God?
Kind of what the...
Isn't it enough that I'm a compulsive overeater, that I'm morbidly obese? Now you want to make me a sex and a love addict too?
Yeah.
I've had enough of this. I'm done with you. I'm disconnecting.
And you put down the telephone.
Yes. And it took me about 2 months to get over my anger.
Oh, good.
And then I realized, you know what? Because then I was angry because why didn't you show me the time when I realized I'm a compulsive overeater? Why didn't you let me know I'm a sex and love addict then too?
Yeah.
And my sponsor told me, you know what? The time wasn't right for you.
Yeah.
You couldn't deal with both at that time. You are ready to deal with it now. So now I understand better, because I wasn't ready with it. I could barely cope with the fact that my head works differently when it comes to food and to eating. I couldn't cope with that. So then if you add sex and love into the mix, oh my word, I don't know what would have happened to me then.
Yeah.
So it was given, I always want to say it was given to me, the gift, because it is a gift.
Yeah.
It was given to me when I was ready to understand that behavior, that acting out that I did that time, it was so damaging to me as a person. It ate away at my soul.
Yes.
This very behavior that I thought was empowering me and just made me feel like I'm on top of the world, I'm in control. And yet I didn't know what it was actually doing to me. Yeah.
Did you do the HELP program?
I did.
Oh, how was that? the HELP program is the first 3 steps
Yes.
of this Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous program, and it's very, very intense.
It is.
It demands complete abstinence, am I correct?
Yes.
So it demands complete abstinence and very intense contact with people whom you check in on a regular basis to make sure that you reflect back at yourself, what's going on in your thinking, what's going on in your behavior, and all those type of things.
Yes.
And did you experience it very intensely?
I did. And it made me understand my eating disorder so much better as well.
Oh, wow.
I understand how the two feed into one another now. Funny thing is, I finished the 30 questions, but on the day I was supposed to report back to my sponsor with the 30th question, that was the day my mom died on the 18th of July. So I'm thinking about it now. I've never done the last question with my sponsor. I should actually just call her and tell her, you know what? It's 7 months later, but we need to do the last question.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so it's been very up and down for me.
Okay. So let's just quickly retract again.
Okay.
So in OA, you started building a relationship with God again.
Yes.
Then SLAA happened and you said, fuck this shit.
Yes. Yes.
I am angry.
Yes.
I'm not going. I don't think that you are a nice guy at all.
Yes, that's it.
And then you started the HELP program.
Yeah.
And what happened for you spiritually in the HELP program?
In the HELP program, I connected a lot more with my higher power.
Because you see your powerlessness.
Yes, absolutely. And it actually, it made me understand my eating disorder better. I realized that I can't do this alone. I absolutely cannot. I do not have the tools. I'm a mere mortal. So I need a bigger deity, a more powerful deity to do it for me.
Okay.
And in this instance, it's God. God is my higher power. Yeah.
Cool. So your spiritual path then went back to the religious God.
I wouldn't say the religious God. The relationship I have now, it's a lot different.
Okay.
It's a more gentle relationship. It's a parent-child relationship.
Okay. That to care for, that caring, you're experiencing the caring.
Yes.
Cool.
This is not the higher power that I'm afraid of anymore. Because I struggle to deal with the concept now that I was afraid of God, and I shouldn't be.
The Bible teaches us to
I
be
know,
afraid.
eh? Yeah, and yet I see the blessings I have every single day. Why must I fear this God that is so merciful, that gives me so many blessings every single day? That's a God that cares. That's a God that loves me.
Yeah.
And so that relationship has become more loving. It's gentle. I connect more easily with my higher power.
Because you also don't feel judged and
Yes.
you don't fear punishment.
Yes.
So it's so much easier to connect that way.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're committed to the program
Yes.
and now mom dies.
Yes. So,
now it's again, what the fuck?
yes, since mom died, I'm in an awful place. I went to 1 or 2 meetings after my mom died, both OA and SLA. And while I was sitting there, I just thought, what the hell am I doing here? Then I realized I don't want to be here. And so I just stayed away. And I've been so angry with my higher power.
Okay.
Because he took my mom away. I was not ready to lose her. My whole life changed. It feels like my life is imploding.
Okay.
I've got no control over what's happening. And I'm angry at him because, listen, I was not ready to lose her. I needed more time with her.
Okay.
And the funny thing is that it's been at least 4 or 5 months since I've last been to a meeting. People from the program are still contacting me and asking me, where are you? What are you doing? Come here, we can support you.
Yeah.
And there's that part of me that just does not want to go. And I don't understand it. I know that this is the emotional support that I need.
Yeah.
In addition to whatever else I do, because I go for therapy and all of that. So at the moment I'm fighting. I'm really angry with God. But, the rational part of me tells myself, this is life and people are going to die. But I'm still so angry. I'm having difficulty processing my mom's death. So, I'm angry all the time.
Okay.
And
So you're back where you were before you went to the clinic the first time.
Yes.
But does that also come out in your behavior? Or are you internalizing that anger now, making it nearly even worse because you're now just bubbling it all up?
Do you know, I'm a lot more vocal about my anger.
Okay.
And that's what's different for me this time.
So you're expressing it in a far healthier way than you did previously.
Yes. Because at first, I would never have told anybody I'm angry with God.
Yeah.
Now, every second person that will listen, I'm saying, listen, I'm angry with God. Because he took my mom away.
And did anybody tell you that you fucked in your head?
No. Funny enough, no.
Because you're not. It's okay. Well, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I fight with my higher power a lot. This is not on. This is not acceptable to me.
Yeah. That's how I feel. Like, there was a way my higher power could bring her back. I'd say, thank you. Yes, please, I'll take her. And life will be okay.
And have you spoken to God about it? Did you tell him that you're pissed off?
I have.
Okay.
And a friend also actually suggested that I write a God letter when I express my displeasure with him.
Yeah.
And that's something, in fact, 2 of my friends told me. I haven't done it yet, but I do think it's a healthy way for me to release.
Yeah.
Because I'm amazed at the depth of my anger. There's still lots in there, in my heart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The issue with death is it invariably brings up a lot of other stuff as well. So we grieve the loss of the other party, but at the same time, we actually grieve a lot of stuff that we should have grieved a long time ago.
Yes.
And that's why people very often, we perceive it as an overreaction to the death of a pet. Because they allow themselves to grieve the death of a pet, but all the other baggage comes with it.
Yeah.
So you're now grieving a lot of the other stuff that you did not allow yourself to feel previously.
I am. I had a very complicated childhood. My mom and I had a very complicated, complex relationship. She had her own demons, that she had to face.
Yeah.
So,
like all of us do.
Yeah. So I find that my inner child is also grieving because my inner child feels abandoned at the moment. And this is like the ultimate abandonment because she's gone. She's not coming back. And my inner child needs love and comfort. And at the moment, I'm struggling to give that to her because I don't know how to comfort this grown woman sitting here that's 39 years old. I don't know how to comfort her.
Yeah.
So how do I comfort my inner child that is so in need of it? Yeah, so I'm struggling with that. All of that is coming out for me at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. But you are taking steps. That's
I am
awesome.
taking steps. I've been speaking to my therapist. She feels that I need intensive counseling. So I'm going in a week's time.
So for a boost.
Yes.
Awesome. See, and what I'm hearing, Melissa, is that kind of fine. And that's what I so like about the spiritual path that we walk through a 12-step program is even though you're angry at your higher power, you're angry at God, you're expressing that anger in a far healthier way than you've done before.
Yes.
So you got something out. You've learned new behavior. You have not stopped therapy. So you are still getting help.
Yeah.
When I contacted you to have this chat, even though you felt you couldn't because of the spiritual crisis you're experiencing, you still said yes, which for me is a very healthy thing to do. I must be honest with you. I thought to myself, shouldn't I rather cancel and allow you to follow your own process? And I don't know why, I just felt that you agreed to this for a reason. And that's why I did pitch up. And I hope that this chat actually brings something to you, because a lot of people, when we finished our chat, always says, you know what, you say thank you, but a lot came up for me. A lot came up for me which I haven't visited for a long time. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to have spoken about this stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope this chat for you is the beginning of a new connection. And maybe this is exactly what it's going to be. Maybe this journey is going to be a whole new connection with what you thought was okay before.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be, because as angry as I am, there's still that part of me that remembers the principles of my programs.
Yeah.
And that means that it must be something good. And, I remember telling you that somebody told me I must never say no to service. And that was the only thing that kept me, that got me to agree to this.
Yeah, you said in the message,
Yes.
I'll do this service. Yes.
So it feels like
this chick
service.
still got it.
But it does feel liberating to just again to talk about my anger.
Yeah.
And for me to realize that my feelings are valid, because, and I know people, their intentions are good, but they tell you, oh, God knows better, accept. I'm not at acceptance yet.
Yeah.
So it's okay for me to be angry.
I hear you. But anger is one of the phases of the grief process.
Yeah.
And what happens a lot is we get stuck in one of the phases.
Yeah.
And then we just need to get that little push. And you're going to get that push now when you're going for the intensive counseling again.
Yes. I'm definitely stuck at the anger.
Yeah.
And then it's between being so angry and being so heartbroken that I can barely lift my head off the pillow some days.
Yeah.
So I just, it makes my head spin. But I'm getting the help that I need, and I know that once I'm done with this, I know that I'm going to return to OA.
There's no doubt in my mind about it. It just never even crossed my mind that you might not. It just that's part of your path.
Yes,
and it's been so good to you while you were on that path.
It absolutely has, because
strange. It never crossed my mind that you were.
Yeah, my life has changed for the better, Freddie. I've done things that I would never have done before because I felt I wasn't worthy.
Yeah.
And these programs have taught me I am worthy. I mean, to have taken my first overseas trip that I just thought was impossible, never. I've done that.
Zanzibar.
Yes, and I went to Thailand. That was amazing.
You're right, So those are 2 overseas trips.
Yeah. I started dance lessons a while ago.
Are you serious?
Yes, but didn't continue them. But I started them.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
took that step?
I'm at the gym because I just stayed away from it because, obese people shouldn't be at the gym. That's what I felt. And I felt, people will be judging me. Nobody actually cares that I'm there.
How would you feel if somebody at the gym comes to you and say, you go, girl?
Do you know that has happened?
Are you serious? Because there's a woman in my gym, which I can see is a compulsive overeater. And she's there and she's working this. And I always think, I really want to go to her and say, well done.
Yes, no, it's happened to me.
The last thing she should be is to be shy or to be ashamed to be there. It is so awesome. It is so, I think, flippin' hell.
Somebody actually came and gave me a high five and I laughed.
That's cool.
I'm doing it. And do you know, the reason why I'm doing it has changed. It's not about weight loss. This is about I'm doing something for me.
That's good for you.
I want to be more active.
Yeah.
And you know what's happened is I'm so impressed with what my body is doing.
Fabulous.
I didn't know that my body is this powerful. It's this strong. I couldn't do a minute on the elliptical cycle. I'm up to 20 minutes now.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So it's...
I would possibly call it the epileptic cycle.
It sometimes feels like it. Elliptical cycle.
Elliptical.
Yes. So I'm amazed.
And she's rubbing her arm because she says her arm is sore from the gym. So again, what I'm hearing is, I referred to your spiritual crisis earlier.
Yeah.
but you're still doing so many good things for you.
Yeah.
So what I actually think is happening, that inner child that you're struggling to nurture is just really upset. And she's saying kind of, I'm angry with you, I'm not going to talk to you.
Yes.
And that's all. It doesn't mean he's not there. It doesn't mean that he stopped caring. You're just saying that I'm not going to talk to you. So that the principles are still there, you're still being a good person, and most of all, you're still being good to yourself.
Mm-hmm. And funny enough, that's the one thing that I actually realized is I haven't stopped believing.
Yeah.
I still believe in my higher power. I still believe in God. Because I see all the goodness around me. I see all the miracles in my life every day. I'm a lot more grateful for the life I have.
Yeah.
I no longer wish that I have somebody else's life like I used to in the past.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm grateful for the life that I'm living.
Yeah.
And I understand that this is life happening now. And this
And
is
it sucks.
me. Yes, it sucks at the moment. I lost my mom. It sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm aware that, I'm not going to feel like this forever. This is where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Thank you.
And I think on that point, we're going to end this.
Thank you,
Because
Fred.
it's so perfect. I love this last sentence. It was just so, and I think I could see in your eyes that you believe what you're saying.
I do.
And that's lovely. That's absolutely awesome. Listen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you won't believe it, but as you know, I was late.
It's okay.
And I left your chocolate on the kitchen counter.
That's okay. You can have it and think of me.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
I shall do that thing. I like that arrangement.
Yes.
I'm going to say that to people more. I
Yes.
bought your chocolate, but I left it at home. So if you don't mind, I'll eat it and think of you.
Absolutely.
Fabulous. Melissa, thank you so much. Have an
Thank
awesome
you,
day.
Freddie.
Now, before I end, I wanted to just bring something else to your attention. You mentioned to me that after this, you're going to your dad.
Yes.
So do you see the service you're doing there as well?
Yeah, and do you know what's happened? My dad and my relationship, we're actually a lot closer. My dad never told me he loves me. And a few days after my mom died, he phoned me one day while we were busy with funeral arrangements. And at the end of the call, he told me, I love you. And I said, okay, I love you too. And I put it on the phone and I told my sister that was driving, Daddy says he loves me.
The first time my mother said she loved me, I called my brother and said, is she dying of cancer? It's amazing how these things happen. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's more comfortable. I hug him and I tell him I love you.
Yeah.
And it was his birthday yesterday. And I phoned him and I wished him. And I said, listen here, take care of yourself because you still have to be with us for a long time.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere. And he told me, no, girl, you're right. I still have to be with you guys.
Shame.
And we went around there yesterday and I took him cake. And it was just good to be with him. I enjoy the time with him and I enjoy this newfound closeness that we
fabulous.
have. Yes. And
Can
it's
you imagine
how
much joy your mother is experiencing
I know,
to watch this?
I know. And it's more honest, the connection we have. Because I'm speaking my mind a little bit more easily, a bit more freely with him. And he understands that it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that I care for you less.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you when you're wrong. And it's a bit easier. So I'm grateful for that. That's the one good thing that came out of my mom's passing so far.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
This had to happen.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Listen, thank you so much.
Thank
Have
you,
an
Freddie.
awesome day. Look after
I
yourself.
will.
Eh?
You too.
I am very happy that I decided not to cancel this conversation with Melissa. I thoroughly enjoyed our chat and got so much out of it. I really believe it is okay for us to fight with our God. It is probably one of the healthiest ways to get anger out of our systems. I hope that making this recording put her on a path of healing and that the intensive counseling she is receiving is making a significant impact. Melissa, all of us at Meet Me in the Field are with you on this path and wish you all of the best. If you have any feedback or remarks, please feel free to pop me an email or connect with me on social media. It will be great to hear from you. If you want to know more about what I do, please feel free to contact me on my website, which is www.freddie.org.za, or find me on Facebook at www.freddie. If you have any feedbacks or remarks, please pop me an email on freddie.rensburg@gmail.com. That is Freddie with an IE. Or connect with me on social media. It will be great to hear from you. If you want to know more about what I do, please feel free to contact me. If you want to know more about what I do, please feel free to connect with me on my website, which is www.freddie.org.za, or find me on Facebook at www.facebook.com/freddie.org.za, or on Twitter at @RensburgFreddie. Remember that Freddie is always spelled with an IE at the end. Be safe. Bye.